My name is Ronald Rael. I am a professor of architecture in the College of Environmental Design, and I'm also a joint appointment in the Department of Art Practice. So my research interests are related to how architecture can be an activist endeavor, how we can use design to affect change. And in terms of the research around actually making these changes, I'm really interested in traditional indigenous crafts and how that relates to contemporary craft traditions like additive manufacturing or digital design, for example. I think these two fields of research have come about because of not only my education, but also my personal background. So when I talk about traditional indigenous crafts, I talk a lot about how one makes with traditional materials like adobe made out of mud. And when I talk about contemporary technologies like 3D printing, I'm interested in how you combine these two. And I grew up in a mud house. The house I'm in right now is made out of mud. And so I think mixing like 10,000 years of knowledge with 30 years of knowledge is really interesting. To think about how those worlds might come together. I'm working on a few projects. One project is called Pedacito de la Tierra, and that project involves building earthen ovens in migrant shelters along the US-Mexico border. And so myself and the community, we build ovens to cook in the migrant shelters so that they can reinforce their own cooking traditions. And so that's made by hand using traditional materials, but I've also been 3D printing large scale structures, houses almost, using Adobe. And so when I say houses almost, what I mean is they're really large scale experiments. They're not houses per se, but they are buildings with rooms and places for people to sleep and eat and bathe. But we haven't tested one where someone's actually living in it. So we're probably going to try to do that in Juarez this summer. The classes that I teach are usually specifically for architecture majors. So it's not really classes for everyone. I wish it was. I used to teach a class that anyone could take on campus called Design is Activism, but that class is still taught. And so they could enroll in the class Design is Activism, even though I don't teach it anymore. I invented that class. And so it continues to be taught by people, and it's a required course in our curriculum. What I enjoy most about working at UC Berkeley is probably one, students who I work with, because they're so smart. And it's really nice when you have a hard problem and you say, okay, let's ask 20 students the same question, and seeing all the amazing solutions that come out of that group. I like that there's such amazing colleagues on campus, professors and staff to work with. And I love that it's a place where the world moves through Berkeley at some point and it stops there, and you get to engage with the people who also aren't there all the time, but just move through there, whether they're there for 4 years or for one day. The most general advice I could probably give is to have fun. And if you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong, because your education should be fun. And if you're having fun, you're going to get really good at what it is you're learning, and you're probably going to like it. You're going to be successful. So try to enjoy what you're doing in all aspects of life.